Hi, boys and girls. Mrs. Batliner. Today we are going to read this story that is called One Thursday Afternoon, and it is by Barbara DiLorenzo. So if you look at the illustrations in the back, you'll kind of see something that was happening in this little girl's school that day. Can you see it back there on the wall? Yeah, it says today lockdown drill. Take a look at her face. How do you think she feels about that lockdown? Yeah, the illustrator did a great job of making illustrations on how the little girl feels. The book is dedicated to all the brave children who feel overwhelmed sometimes. You are not alone. So sometimes in school, we have these different drills and we have these different activities that can be pretty scary, like fire drills, tornado drills. And this week, we are having those practice lockdown drills. So the author wants to dedicate this to y'all because you are so brave when you have to do those drills. One Thursday afternoon, Granddad picked Ava up from school. Hey, Ava, said Granddad. What's wrong, kiddo? Nothing, Ava said. How do you think Grandpa could tell that there was something wrong with Ava? Yeah, her whole body language. She does not look happy at all. I have a little surprise for you. I packed a picnic and our paints, said Granddad. Ava didn't answer. So look at Ava's face and her character. Has she changed Granddad's feelings? Yeah, he was so excited to come and get her, but now because she's upset, he doesn't feel very happy anymore. After a while, they stopped at a nature trail. Ava sighed. Can't we just go home? Not quite yet, Granddad said. But I had a bad day. I just want to be alone right now, Ava said. That's okay. I won't talk, said Granddad. We can both be alone together. So sometimes it's nice to just not be able to talk to anybody. It's just nice to kind of sit there quietly. And so Granddad said, we can be alone, but we are together alone. So even though they are not going to talk to each other, they're still there together. Does it look like they're talking? No, it doesn't at all. Ava's doing her thing, Granddad's doing his thing. So they were quiet. The ducks? Not so much. After their picnic, Granddad asked, Are you ready to paint? I guess, Ava said. She any happier? She's not happy. Do you think she is mad or do you think she is sad? Take a look at those illustrations. Is she mad or is she sad? Yeah, I most definitely think she is sad. Before you use your paintbrush, Ava, use all of your senses, said Granddad. So before she starts painting, She should stand there and use all of her senses. Do you know what all of your senses are? Yeah, there's sight, there's smell, there's hearing, there's tasting, and there's touching. So Granddad said, before you paint, just kind of be here with all of your senses. Ava kept still. She looked up at the trees. She listened for the birds, smelled the cool air, and felt the earth under her feet. Suddenly, her cheeks felt hot and her eyes felt wet. What is happening with Ava? All right, so if we look at her senses, she looked up and saw the trees. So she used her eyes. She listened for the birds. So she used her hearing. She smelled the cool air. So she used her sense of smell. And she felt the earth under her feet. Which sense has she not used yet? Yeah, she did not use taste. But just being calm right there caused her cheeks to get all hot and her eyes to start getting watery. Granddad, I have something to say. I was so scared today. We had a lockdown drill at school. We had to hide in a safe place in our classroom. But I thought my classroom was already safe. How did she feel? Yeah, she was scared. She thought her classroom was safe already. But we have to have a lockdown to practice that safety. Granddad sat close. That does sound scary. When I was your age, we had safety drills called duck and cover. We had to hide under our desks, he said. It was hard for us to understand. I never admitted it, but I was really scared back then. I still am sometimes. So how is Granddad helping Ava? Yeah, he's saying he understands her feelings because he used to have to do drills that scared him too. Ava took a deep breath. Even you? Even me, said Granddad. But Ava, even though the world is scary, it's also a beautiful place. Sometimes, Ava said. Let's paint now. So even though our world is scary with some of the things happening in our world, it still is so beautiful. Look at how pretty that picture is. I think those ducks are beautiful. Do they look like they're talking here? Remember, you can be together, but still be alone because they're not talking. Ava felt a little better. But as Granddad went to his easel, she felt the sadness creep back. Is it okay to feel sad about those drills? It is. It is fine that you feel sad and scared. Granddad, you may have been scared in school, but did you ever see news reports of schools in danger? She asked. I sometimes do. So sometimes when things happen at school, it's on the news. So sometimes we see those things that happen in schools. I didn't, Ava, said Granddad. You're right that the world can seem pretty different than when I grew up. But whether it's scary or beautiful or both, I'm here to listen. So, boys and girls, anytime you feel afraid, always find someone that could be there for you. Your teacher, a friend, your grandmother, your grandfather, your parents. You can always find someone that cares. Ava still felt a little scared, but talking helped. So did quiet. And so did painting, using all her senses. Let's paint outside again, said Ava. Granddad smiled. How about tomorrow? The leaves rustled and the ducks quacked. Ava and Granddad packed up and headed home. What a great illustration. Here's a note from our author. So it says, I didn't expect to create this book. I had funnier stories in mind. That changed when I experienced an actual lockdown during an author visit to an elementary school. As the adults stood chatting after my last presentation, an alarm rang, the signal for an active lockdown. The school librarian quickly locked the door, shut off the lights, and pulled the shades. We huddled in a corner for 45 minutes, not knowing whether an intruder was in our building. I thought of the children with whom I'd been sharing my love of art and books not even an hour prior. I wondered if they were having a hard time keeping quiet, if they were thinking of what might happen, if they were as scared as I was. We later learned that there was no active threat, yet everyone felt the impact of what might have been. For more than a year, I wrestled with the idea of creating a book prompted by this day. I kept trying to walk away from such a hard topic. Yet, every news story about schools in danger renewed my sense that there was a place for a book like this. Even a preparatory lockdown drill can prompt fears of what if. This is just one fear kids may express in places that they should feel safe. I wanted to validate all the feelings kids have about things that scare them. And I wanted to remind adults that our job is to listen, just as people in my life have truly listened to me. One of these people was my father. When I was a child, I loved talking with him about everything, big or small. He was always ready for a long conversation and would treat me with respect. In the spirit of my father, Granddad came into focus as a safe outlet for Ava to share her fears. No matter how old we are, fear often comes close. What can we do when it does? In a world that may seem full of danger and anxiety, fear won't go away entirely, but fostering certain habits can help keep it in proportion, just like Ava and Granddad. You can try to listen well. Talk when you're ready. Offer companionship. Stay close to someone you love. Do something creative, art or music or a science experiment, using all of your senses. Spend time in nature. Breathe. Notice the beauty. As Granddad says, even though the world is scary, it is also a beautiful place. May we listen to those around us, helping one another build resilience and courage. So, boys and girls, if you have had a lockdown in your building in the last couple days, or if you're going to have one in the next couple of weeks, it's okay to be scared. It is, it's okay. But talking with someone about your fear can make you feel a little bit better. Also, drawing or just listening to nature and your five senses, that also can help you. All right. I'll see you on the next story.